Welcome again to another episode of Leadership and Learning. I have the pleasure of being here with Volkmar Kunerth, the CEO of Accentech Technologies, and I love this conversation that we're going to have because Volkmar has traveled that bridge back and forth. You so conveniently have the San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge behind you to show the bridge between technology, which are my clients in the technical field, to the people leadership field. So thank you, Volkmar, for being here. So you are my guru of everything IoT. So let's just start with the basics here. What is IoT? For all our viewers out there who don't know what IoT is.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me here. And being a guru is maybe a little bit much, but I try to educate the people on IoT. I have had a lot of webinars with hundreds of attendants. And so basically IoT stands for the Internet of Things. And the Internet of Things is an ecosystem that connects sensory devices through gateways to the cloud and receives information from those sensory devices, which could be temperature, occupancy, certain pressure, and so forth. That information that is collected through those devices is then in the cloud computed to make sense of certain processes, and then hopefully as human interference optimizes those processes so the end customer can have positive economic outcomes. And this could be a cash machine at a bank that needs scheduling and that needs remote repair or connectivity to, as an example, an occupancy sensor in an office that makes sure the office only gets cleaned when it's really occupied. For example, if I own thousands of different offices, to optimizing diesel gensets so they get in a preventative manner. There are thousands of business models and applications of IoT.
How did you even get started? I mean, through all your career track, how did you end up in IoT?
Well, I started with a company called Tower Power, which was focusing on optimizing energy assets such as diesel gensets, solar, battery, fuel cells for off-grid or bad-grid cell phone towers in remote areas. And cell phone towers, it's very important to keep the power on all the time, because that's how these cell phone operators make money, by selling airtime.
And now you have your own IoT consultancy business and you're finishing up your doctoral dissertation in IoT. So I think you're being modest. You are still my guru of all things IoT. And so speaking of your consultancy practice, if you're thinking about your customers, your previous clients that you've had, what are the kind of problem statements that they come to you with?
I mostly work with CEOs and sales leaders, and I would break down the process into different stages of my work. Basically, the first stage to research the current stage of the company. My customers are companies that provide IoT solutions to the market. So I would do research on what has been your success, why did you succeed in those different verticals and in those different environments. I would do an assessment of all your competitors. I would even interview some of your competitors that are the most successful. I would do research into your technology, like real research papers. And then I would provide you with a analysis of my work, where you currently stand, what your options are to grow in different markets, why certain competitors are successful and why not, why I think certain product features are important but need to be improved, what business you're in, and that is about not just selling your technology features, but really helping you to line out the economic consequences or the economic upsides your customers enjoy because they utilize your technology, and basically enable you to not just sell features by price, but enable you to sell your technology as a value add for your customers, so your customer can see how he either saves money or makes more money or gets more competitive by utilizing your products, because that's the end goal, basically. In addition, I would help your salespeople to really convey that message to your customers.
So can you share with us any of your success stories with your previous clients?
Yes, I mean, I had quite some success stories. Many of my clients I still work with. For example, I helped a European company to grow in a new segment, and they're basically living from building that news now. So I help them. I help also companies upgrade in a way in the market to have more margins, higher margins, because they understand then that they can make more money when they can sell their customers value versus features. Also, I'm quite involved in the product marketing and product management, because I think that's hard part of it. You need to have the features, of course. And with the enablement of the features, you need to understand what processes at your customer are relevant to the technology you provide, so you can really sell a value proposition and are really based. And in addition, to position you against your competition in a way that strategically sets you on a higher scale long term.
And Volkmar, with your experience, and this is why you're a CEO, you have been able to completely bridge that gap, like really close that gap between your technical expertise, as well as we're talking about go-to-market strategy, working with the sales teams, working cross-functionally, knowing the customers, doing competitive analysis, all of that, being a people leader, and you really close that gap. Now, you know that I work with clients who are trying to climb up that promotional ladder for being very technically skilled and knowledgeable to be a people manager. What would you say is part of that bridge while they're seeing that gap of moving up to the people manager, people leader role? What are you seeing on that bridge?
I think the most important thing is communicating your vision and goals, and then along with project and program management, really lining out how to get there, and then also have management processes in place that constantly make sure you're on the right way through meetings, or some softwares help there. But I think the biggest step often, and of course it's not the case for every person, but many of the technical people are more introverts, and enabling that communication is extremely important. So communication skills, project management skills, and being able to communicate your goals and visions to your team.
And you even have a background in psychology and human resources development, right? That's something that you decided to get into.
Early on, I wanted to become a psychologist. I switched that then to human resource development, because I believe more in developing people than necessarily working in clinical psychology. I think I felt like doing that would be a better. And then I got, interestingly enough, in very technical fields, and that's why I'm working on my thesis now, which is in economics actually. So I research on the economic effects of the Internet of Things. And
I can't wait till you finish that and then you publish it.
Yeah.
We will have to definitely celebrate. So any last advice or any last words, Volkmar, for especially my clients? They're in that point where they're anticipating and they're nervous and they've got this little bit of inhibition to make that leap from all I've known is just technical skills. I know I'm really good at that. That other land over there, that people leader land is just kind of scary. Any advice you can give?
Well, I think, everyone has inherent strengths to himself or herself. So just stay yourself, be humble, and talk to your people. They will appreciate that. And then analyze all the information, and I'm a big believer in empowering people. If you learn to empower the people that follow you, I think you're gonna be successful. It's not that scary, I think. And everyone is a different leader. They are extremely good introverted leaders who run extremely big organizations. So it's not necessarily good to be hard on yourself, but focus on your strengths and how you can lead the way that is associated with your character, because you cannot fake it. You have to work with what you are as a person, and that can be extremely efficient.
Thank you for that optimistic insight, Volkmar. I'm sure that those who are listening can feel a sense of relief and also some courage from your words. Thank you very much. And thank you for your time today. Thank you for your expertise. If you have any questions about IoT, however basic to however advanced, he's got webinar recordings, and he's also on LinkedIn. And Volkmar, are you open to folks connecting with you and asking you questions?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm on LinkedIn. And so my company is called Accentech Technologies. I'm going to have a more strategic consulting website soon, which we're working on. And you can also check out our YouTube channel where I have panel interviews with industry leaders on IoT related subjects, IoT and energy, Accentech Technologies on YouTube, and my LinkedIn. Just Google me and Kunerth, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you again so much for your time, Volkmar. It's been great. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.